The following podcast may contain explicit language and offensive material. That, some fava beans, and a nice Chianti, and you've got yourself a meal.
Welcome to the Pièce de Resistance bonus episode number 17 with Lyssa and Dale Leopold, and featuring outtakes from our most recent episode, Let Us Pray. We now join this episode already in progress. Quite the purr monster when he wants to be. He's kind of skittish otherwise. But when he wants to be in your lap and be a purr machine. So it'll be interesting to see if that bleeds in the audio. How are you?
How am I?
Yes.
I have news.
Oh?
Guess what else is big about a Pyrenees?
Big poops?
Yes.
Well, yes.
But
not what you had in mind.
Also barfs. Barf is big.
Oh.
And apparently my gigantic, 3:53 this morning. Punch!
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Right, the pause of doom.
I get up, I take him out. I come back in, I lie down on the couch because I'm going to try to go back to sleep because it is a weekend.
And it's 3:53. Great.
Correct. Now it's 3:54, 5,
okay.
Maybe. He goes back upstairs, climbs into bed with Jay, and then not 10 minutes later, Jay comes down bearing every single scrap of bedding in a disgusted face. Because he got right in the bed, snuggled up to his daddy, and then... blah.
The Technicolor yawn, yes.
Mm-hmm. So now Jay is in the bed with no bedding at all, wrapped in whatever he could find on the floor in the bedroom.
Oh, jeez.
Thunder is back downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
He's lying on his bed now when he raises his gigantic head and so very delicately and ladylike barfs twice more.
Oh, no.
I am not sure that he did not recreate his entire body mass.
Yeah.
I don't know how much that... I mean...
Now, did Larry perhaps help out by consuming some of this barf?
No, Larry is also snuggled under whatever Jay has found to wrap himself in.
Okay.
Still. Yeah, she's fine. Thunder has an upset tummy.
Oh, dear. Mm-hmm. I mean, that happens, obviously, when we have two dogs, but...
Not in the bed, not in two beds.
Not usually on or in the bed. Yeah, true. And usually they...
And no horking warning that gives you time to get him out. No,
cats usually have a whole, wind up and, yeah.
Right. It's an art form, really, for a cat.
But yeah, dogs usually do you the courtesy of then cleaning it up themselves.
I don't know that he could have eaten that much. I don't know when he did eat that much. I mean, just so delicate, lifted his head and projectile vomited across the living room.
Maybe he's possessed. Have you tried showing him a crucifix?
We don't have any.
Okay, that's a silly question.
Don't be silly. Where would I get one?
You can do like they did in the old, Christopher Lee Dracula movies, where you get two forks or whatever, silver forks, and
whatever.
Hold them up crosswise. Yeah. The power of cutlery compels you.
I will try that next time. Hopefully there won't be a next time.
Okay.
Because he's never, ever coming back.
Okay. That's it. He's an outdoor dog from now on.
At least for the rest of the day.
Oh, dear.
Uh-huh.
Blah. Good morning. Blah. Happy weekend.
Exactly. Yes. Good morning. Please tell me this happens to other people with the frequency that these things happen to me.
Well.
Because otherwise, I am the butt of a very sick cosmic joke. And that hardly seems fair. I'm more or less nice.
Mm-hmm. Well, there has to be some, cosmic balance for, there's the black hole and then there's the barfing dog. Somehow or other, it all evens out. He's extruding matter into the universe.
People
the
bitch about the quality of the black hole photo.
Yeah. I retweeted someone did a wonderful poem. I think George just retweeted it because George Washington of our cast, who is another science geek.
Also up early.
Yes, up early.
No one is barfing on him,
yeah.
I don't believe.
and let's see. And this is a takeoff, and I have to look. I was going to Google it, but I didn't have time because I know it's a famous poem. And it's either like E. Cummings or William Carlos Williams, and I'm running out of names of 20th century poets. But anyway, so the tweet was, "I am sorry that the image whose Earth-sized baselines yielded a 20 angstrom or I don't know something beam, mu as whatever that." Simple means
right, some
beam, right,
math things.
resolving 5 Schwarzschild radii, whose deconvolution placed 10 resolution elements over a more or less 15 light day black hole shadow and photon ring in an object 55 million light years away, was too blurry for you.
Yes, fuck you. I mean,
And and
no.
also the. Because we're in Trump's America, the lovely sexist attacks on the scientist who put together the team. Isn't that wonderful? Where they started
does the heart good.
They thought it would just be a real yuck fest to pretend that she didn't really write the code or something, or to make this possible. They found the name of another male scientist on the team and gave him a false profile and said, I should be getting the credit. I wrote 95% of this. And
yeah, he's disavowed
which
that,
of course
obviously.
he has, thank goodness. But I mean, it's just like, oh, this is where people get their jollies, really? Okay, wonderful.
No, you know what it is?
What?
It is endemic misogyny. It is systemic. This is not uncommon. And frankly, men, we've been carrying your shit for a very long time.
Yeah.
The things that you do because we helped you do that.
Mm-hmm.
So knock it off.
Really?
Your fragile snowflake egos.
Yeah.
You need us.
Yeah, and
I'm going to be washing up dog barf today. You know that's going to be me.
that's right. It's not Jay.
I'm the woman who mopped at 4:12.
Oy vey. And and
Coffee wasn't even finished brewing,
Yeah.
and I'm mopping.
so like we poked fun at one particular woman in STEM who turned out to be a con artist in our most recent episode, Elizabeth Holmes, which is
Well done, segue.
yeah, it's like a damn shame because she was, legitimately, or she was not legitimate. She was a hero to
No, she wasn't very legitimate at all, was she?
To so
No.
many women.
Turns out.
This is so cool that this wonderful leap forward in medical testing is going to come from this brilliant woman. And she had everybody snowed, and it
Yep,
does
you know
so
what
much
that says?
damage.
We're also better at conning you.
Yeah, really, that's right. I mean, I couldn't get George Shultz and Henry Kissinger to sit on a board of some make-believe corporation. I mean, no way.
Of course, that was the best sex I ever had.
Yeah. Women are practiced at telling men what they want to hear.
Yes, we may have lied before.
Wait. Well, except for any. Wait, no, really?
Of course.
Really?
Of course, honey child.
Damn. All right. Anyway.
So anyway,
anyway.
You know what I want to do on this briefish? I make them brief now because I have to edit them.
Yes. Yes.
Because Mama's lazy. It's what I'd like to do on this briefish intermission is issue a call. I like our interview ideas, but these people have not responded to us. So if you know someone who is active in the resistance, or your cousin's best friend was a groomsman for Pete Buttigieg, Judge Pete Buttigieg, Buddha.
That's right.
Could you, get up with us?
Yeah.
Because we would like to interview your brush with fame if you've got one.
Indeed.
Or your resistance. We'd like to talk to you.
Yes. That.
So DM us or hit us up on Twitter at any number.
Yeah,
of
we're just obviously really
things.
bored just talking to each other, and
No.
no.
I would never say that out loud.
Again, it's the best bonus episode ever.
It was. I'm shaking from the effects of this bonus episode. I think I need to rest.
Oh, my. Well,
My goodness.
well, we do have a couple. Yes, so definitely a call for interviewees. We had a wonderful time with Linda Dorado when we did our interview last year. And yes, by all means, make yourselves known to us. We will We will be happy to have you.
Free publicity. So many of our listeners will be very excited to hear this.
Tens of them, and
Thousands.
Tens of thousands. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Tens of 20s.
Yeah,
I don't know.
dozens of
But there will be
thousands.
people.
But
Look, reach out to the freak vote, man.
well,
That's
yes.
all I'm saying.
So this bonus episode is dropping on Tax Day, but we won't talk about that. We will talk about the fact that it's
Good, 'cause I'm not ready.
Me neither. That it's 1 year from our first episode. I mean,
Is it?
It is indeed. It actually dropped a few days early because I didn't understand how Libsyn did its syndication thing. But the
Right, and
intended
we didn't
date
understand anything
was
at
April
all.
15th of 2018, and now that's come again. And I think I think we did pretty well.
I think we made a good thing, Dale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and we did it without knowing at all what we were doing.
Not even a little bit, no. And
Nope, not a smidge.
And we just found out that one of our episodes, Rabbit Redux Deluxe, is going to be featured at the Here Now Festival in Kansas City in June, which I'll be attending, as well as Karen.
Nice.
And we're in the gold level, which of the podcast forum thing. So
Which is way better than the mud level we were starting
That's
out
right.
there. So we're
That's right.
pretty excited.
gold.
Yay for us.
Go for the gold! Hooray for us! Yes. So
Hurrah,
very
hurrah.
very exciting about that.
Huzzah.
And I get to go to Kansas City, where I've never been before, actually.
Oh, well, okay. If you are, when driving,
Yes.
and if you see any children on the side of the road near the corn, do not stop.
Okay. That might be like Kansas, regular Kansas.
I was trying to explain to the Purple Avenger why we haven't been to Kansas, and I said too many kids. And
Children of the
then
corn.
you can't make smart-ass remarks like that with him, because now why?
You might run into Nicolas Cage. I mean, that's reason enough, right?
These things, bad things happen.
Wowie zowie. Okay.
Yep. So it's like the time when we stepped over the sewer grate on the curb, and he said, "What's down there?" And I said, "Clowns,"
Pennywise the clown.
because I couldn't stop myself. So now we have to look in every sewer grate for an evil clown.
It's that ingestion of Stephen King at too early an age, right?
That bastard. Afraid of dishwasher disposals.
Yeah, that's right.
Disposals. Yeah, and children and corn. Thank you, Stephen King. We'd like to interview you, too, as well.
Oh, hell yeah. I would love to. I mean, I have so many questions.
I know a guy who knows you, Mr. King, and he says you're batshit nuts, but really, really fun and into baseball.
So if you really want to...
And he likes to watch you working things out,
Oh, that's an interesting
which is what, yes,
perspective.
just, yes, mad giggling. As it was during, what book was it? It was one that featured a German Shepherd, and he said, we were at the Little League field, and he was just sort of mumbling and giggling to himself, and he was, what's going on, Steve? I'm trying to think, should the dog eat her? Ah.
That's the writer's process, you see.
Yeah.
Go to softball games and yeah. But that
Now he's really into baseball. You know this.
yeah, actually, I don't. I mean, I guess I didn't realize
Yes,
he was that. Obviously a New England thing with the Red Sox and whatnot. But I didn't.
No, in Maine he supports a number of little league teams and stuff.
That fact had somehow escaped me. And here I am. As we're recording this early on a Sunday morning, because I am actually going to a baseball game in Washington.
Because you're a fan.
In a couple hours, because I am a fan.
Incidentally,
Yes.
the friend who knows, it's not really a friend now. It's been a long time, and I can't remember his name. But the dude who knows Stephen King
Right.
from baseball, his sister wrote *The Beans of Egypt, Maine*, which is a
Oh yeah.
very
yeah.
interesting book about Maine
Yeah.
as well.
So it's
So-
the sister of the author of the Beans of Egypt, Maine.
It's the brother of
brother
the
of the-
author
yes,
of
I'm
*The
sorry.
Beans of Egypt, Maine*, who
I was told there'd be
was
no
a bouncer at
genealogy.
a titty bar. That's all I got,
Okay.
man. It all comes back to boobs. We're 6 steps away from titties at any given time.
Sometimes literally.
Not me. I'm like right there with the titties
Yeah, that's
because
right.
they're not detachable.
No, they're not.
Can you tell I've been up for 4 hours now?
Oh God. Oh God. Yeah. You've had some time to marinate in this.
And I have to wait for Jay to get fully out of bed so we can attempt to jointly shake all of the poop off, vomit off, lest we have a repeat of the cat shit in my hair
Yes,
situation.
that's right.
So,
It's all good fodder for the show because
you guys are so creative. I can't believe you come up with these crazy storylines.
How do you get Jake to say these cute things? It's because he is quite inventive with the English language.
Yep.
Like this breaking the speed lemon and so on. Yeah.
He had another one recently. Well, he had several, but I don't know.
Got to write them down.
I'm a little foggy. We went to America yesterday.
To the mainland.
Yes.
The hunting party.
So I spent 4 hours or so in the car with Chatty McChatterson.
The wisdom of Jake, yes.
Yep.
I could just picture it. Oh my goodness! I got to get back.
Really,
down
there was there was a moment where I went, "You need an Ativan, honey?" Yeah, me too. Okay. Because we also went to the mall.
Oh, one of your.
I do that twice a year.
I saw that little twitch
because
there.
I know 3 stops I have to make. I have to go to Victoria's Secret to buy perfume, and fuck you, Victoria, and your secrets for discontinuing Vanilla Lace. The Vanilla Bear is not the same. Fuck you.
Okay.
Noted. And there's a leggings store,
Mm-hmm.
so obviously,
Right.
I have to go buy more skull leggings.
Skull leggings, yes.
Yes. Ooh, in capris this time, so I'm like fashionable. And then there's the Lego store.
Leggings and Lego, yeah. It's a sort of related.
Leggings, Lego, and boobies. We make. I tricked the Purple Avenger into going in, and then he immediately panicked, and Victoria's Secret was like, "I don't want to be in here." Bahoobies. And then, so he and Jay waited while I shopped.
Many cooties to be found there, yes.
Jay kept sending him in to find me just for kicks. And he'd go in for a minute and run back out.
Years of therapy.
He's not prepared for that many boobs.
Years of therapy.
He's just not. We save. The swear jar is for his therapy.
Yeah, right. Oh, my God. He's going to have an interesting life. I know that. I can.
Hopefully not in the sense of the Chinese curse, interesting life.
Right.
But
Right. Well, hopefully, he's young enough that he'll not remember that there was a Trump presidency. That would be enough to scar anybody. Imagine. I just, really, literally. I mean, he doesn't remember Obama or anything like that, does he?
No, I tell him stories and I show him
of the old days,
and then we cry
before the election.
I remember sitting there when gay marriage was officially made legal with my infant son and going. I even posted about it in a moment of just happy and clarity. I said, "My son, who is 2, not an infant, but you know what I mean, will never know a world in which his uncles are treated as second-class citizens." And then whammo!
Then whammo. Yes, indeed. Well, that's a pretty good summary of the of the Trump administration. Whammo.
I know. I'm telling you, that Large Hadron Collider, that's what happened.
Yeah.
This is the parallel universe. I do not like it.
This timeline really sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really, let's get up to that other universe.
I mean, it has enabled us to make otherwise we would have made a podcast about, I don't even know if we would.
Yeah, no. I mean, what's there talking about? Things were normal again today. We can do a parody of normal.
Yes.
I don't know. That's
fucking hard to keep up with satire, to do satire with this administration,
holy fuck,
I have
really.
to say.
Absolutely.
I know.
Hey,
Chinese spy at Mar-a-Lago. We're like,
yes.
Oh, well, spoiler for our episode.
We knew that. We definitely, I mean, we have, Stephen Miller we had him well ahead of, and
we knew
that Jared wanted to hook up the Saudis with nuclear stuff. We made it nuclear bombs, but it's same.
Yes.
You got to give us credit for that. Right. And we and now, honestly, I was thinking about writing about this or talking about this, is that there's the problem of the adult in the room in our scripts, because we'll have cabinet meetings and whatnot, and it used to be that I could when we'd have Trump say something particularly outlandish, in other words, realistic, that we could have, almost got a spit take there. We'd have Jim Mattis or somebody say, Mr. President, I don't think we could do that kind of thing. And now it's like,
we just have to do walla of, woohoo, go for it.
Yeah, you're right, exactly.
Yeah.
Or literally in this last episode, we had the voice of reason being Stephen Miller, Mr. President, I don't think that, or Mike Pence, Reverend, I don't think Congress is authorized. It's like, in reality, there's nobody there saying that. He's like, I want to do this. Great idea, boss. The greatest idea ever. Yeah, I know. That's because I'm great. And off he goes.
Just, I want to thunder on things.
Yeah, exactly. And now, as promised, here are the outtakes from our most recent episode. Enjoy.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
It's practically dinner time. How do you say that? Practically?
Let me start from the 23rd Psalm again, okay?
I can't say my line. It's too funny.
Yeah, I'm totally coming into this not having seen it, so here we go.
Mad-libbing.
Existential blues. Wingardium Leviosa. Not Leviosa.
Here we go. All right. In our last episode of Beyond Resistance. Sorry, here we go. Okay, here we go.
Kierkegaard's Journals, starring Richard Chamberlain, Peggy Mount, and Billy Bremner.
Here's your Oscar.
Karen, her voice was ridiculous. She was literally talking like this.
I know.
She was just in the news because she just got engaged, and the comment was, well, I guess he doesn't have HBO.
Is that woman a psychopath or what?
I'm Rulalenska.
We'll make her Satan. Okay, there we go.
Leave the phone to my ear and just do Karen Pence on the side. I mean, I won't do Karen Pence on the side.
Not the rubber bustier, is it?
Sometimes he'll do a Dutch oven where he'll fart and then raise the covers and then close them up on me. But I actually kind of like it.
Where are you?
Can we come back to this later?
How about letting me ask the fucking question before you answer it?
Say the word and you'll be free.
Have you heard? The word is love.
I can't think today.
Sometimes it snows in April.
Mark, we'll do the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John for that scene.
Yeah. The return of Bryce Harper, Pilgrim.
Oh, for goodness sake, Lyssa, for goodness sake, Lyssa, pull yourself together.
Incoherent babbling. That's my next line.
My orange tree had a little frost on it.
Mocked by a millennial.
Blank. What do they do in Mississippi when skies are drippy?
Let's make the water turn black. That was a Zappa quote.
I hope they got the band back together.
Followed that improv way out there over your skis.
Well, you know what I'm dressed for, right? I've got my preacher look on. I'm ready to be your pastor.
He's got his power socks on, I'll bet you.
Guy walks into a bar and asks the bartender for a double entendre, and she gave it to him.
Oh, I like it when you, move over there. Oh, yeah, that is right on.
Out of the cream, out of the bottle, you go.
No mushroom head here.
Well done.
The only boy who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man.
Oh, boy! Thunder! Who's a good Yeti? Who's a good Yeti?
And I'm all about energy. It's all about the energy. It's not the Benjamins, but the...
Oh, my God. I don't think I react to Sudafed
Is
well.
that pseudo-fed or real fed?
Everything is sparkly.
Intercourse the penguin!
You've just heard Dustin and Lori do the nasty.
Dustin, thank you. I need a cigarette, but thanks.
Follow your script, man. Come on, it's not hard.
I don't. I am on the cabinet. I'm one of the pulls. I'm a handle.
Wait. Stop. Sorry. We need a scream in here because Rod, the organist on the organ, is going to set off your dick machine.
There's an ooh instead of an ah. You want the same thing as always, or do you want an oh, or something different there?
Yeah, they keep sending me reference files that are in Russian. I'm like, how is this supposed to fucking help me? But
The Latvian voiceover business is Rigad. That's the, sorry, a little geographical joke there.
Ooh, that was an NPR joke, not a general public joke.
Come on down here. I'm a full immersion kind of baptism guy. Get in the pool. You hear me? Get in the pool.
Sprinkled and dunked. Got 'em both. Yes, I am aware.
Like Rocky puts it like in his milk or whatever, and it's like gave us the two turtles a cuff and leg.
My restaurant instructions are bring it back to me when you feel like you shouldn't take that out on the floor.
Anywhere I can be a witness for the king. All right, go ahead.
You guys are demented, man. This is fucking great.
So, see, you saved yourself from a spit take with that one.
I did. I think thundering could be a good metaphor there. We are all thunder.
Yeah. we are.
And
barfing on the bed linens.
And Pete Buttigieg is going to have to clean up the throw up.
I know.
Well,
I really am fond of him, although I have noticed just a teeny tiny little bit, not much. I would hesitate to say anything as a lady.
Mm-hmm.
But I have noticed that the female candidates don't seem to be getting quite as much attention.
That is very true.
And I'm not sure why that is. I mean, Ms. Warren has a full-on policy for everything, including bathroom breaks.
Yes, she is brilliant. And she's got the Harvard. I mean, she's a Harvard professor, not just a Harvard degree and Rhodes Scholar like he is.
Yes. Kamala likes Snoop, so there you go.
There you go. Gillibrand speaks Mandarin, but nobody talks about that, and so on. There's definitely some, and Cory Booker's another Rhodes Scholar. So.
I mean, we've got talk about a deep bench.
Yeah.
Can we just have like a group presidency out of this? We'll take the top 5.
We will take whoever except maybe Tulsi, but
no, not Tulsi. We will not take her.
She's right out there. But basically, almost any
or Marianne Williamson.
Yeah, Marianne Williamson. No, move to a higher astral plane or whatever, but not the Democratic ticket. But basically, any of these people would be. I mean, light years ahead of Trump, and and so what I really dislike is that we're like so far away from even the first primary, much less the election, that we have so much snarking and backbiting and what about this and what about that. And I mean, yes, I absolutely agree that yes, he and the other, and the other male candidates are definitely getting a disproportionate
share.
Yes. Whereas, yes, you have women who've been having policy positions and doing great things, pretty much getting ignored. And,
Yeah, and once again, bottom line, we can grow a human.
That's right.
Where is the respect?
Exactly. So, yeah. So anyway, we're watching this with interest. I do like Pete, Mayor Pete, but I would be happy with anybody, pretty much.
Except Tulsi. We're sorry,
or
Tulsi.
Marianne. Yeah,
but you're, no.
And don't get me started on Bernie.
We're not sorry, Marianne Williamson. We are sorry for you.
Yeah, that's right. Cosmic awareness means never having to say you're sorry. Okay.
I'm reading a new book on witchcraft this morning.
Are you? Mm-hmm. Pro or con?
Pro.
Okay, just kidding.
I did that deep dive years ago. I have back when I could read and had time.
Yes.
I would find a subject interesting, and then I would dive into it to a bad extent. My Amazon bill, big.
Oh yeah. Been there.
But so, yeah. Like I have a whole lot too much information about volcanoes and plate tectonics and earthquakes because that was interesting at one point. I blame Simon Winchester.
Simon Winchester? Vaguely familiar.
He is my favorite British historian. Sorry, Jehum.
Okay.
You're getting there, though. Yeah, I know. I just name-checked a whole bunch, 2 historians, and you're like, that's nice.
I love history writing, but I don't know those 2.
Simon Winchester is an elderly British dude who has traveled extensively. Read his book on Krakatoa, because that's the volcano one.
Cool.
And even his footnotes are witty.
Nice. I like witty footnotes.
Me too.
That could be a good band name, I think. The Witty Footnotes.
The Witty Footnotes.
Yeah.
Ibid.
John Thesis and the Witty Footnotes. Yeah, but yeah, I love history. I mean, I got into this. I don't know, like back. I think what happened was I read Gore Vidal's Lincoln, which is a novel, but a historical novel. And I thought, oh, what fun, because he talked about these characters, and it's like, really? Did so-and-so really have that motivation or whatever? And, he was sort of...
Pouring tea.
Yeah, pouring tea.
Because we're talking about a Brit. Well, not Gore Vidal, but
Gore
still.
Vidal. I mean, he might as well be. Might have been. But I mean, William Manchester and Barbara Tuchman and people like that. I mean, wrote some great books. David Halberstam, all these great people. And I so into it. I think Tom Hanks, who's more or less my age, said the same thing. It's like high school, college, whatever, he really didn't care about history that much because it was really boring or presented in a boring way. But then when he discovered all these guys, it was like, hey, this is really cool stuff. I kind of had the similar thing. Yeah.
We have 2.5 of the bookshelf or shelves in one of the bookcases is all shipwreck nautical type stuff and history. Nathaniel Philbrick.
Oh, cool.
Pick that up.
Cool.
Yes.
Good stuff.
I have my books organized by subject matter, the Lyssa decimal system. And it goes from shipwrecks to Schadenfreude in that particular case.
And Schadenfreude about shipwrecks. It's like, well, imagine they're starving to death on an island. That gives me such pleasure.
There's a section about the Salem witch trials as well. That sort of.
And we circle back to there. That's very good.
See,
and
I had a point.
I took my kids to Salem some years ago, and there's
to burn them.
Well,
Dale. That is not.
It's one of those
done in polite society.
It's Pat Robertson endorsed child discipline. If they are possessed by the demons, anyway. But there is a Salem Witch Museum there, which it was very well done, and quite surprisingly had quite a bit of input apparently from a Wiccan community, because it talked about how witchcraft is misunderstood and that there was this and there's that, and it was like, wow, that's really surprising. I wouldn't have expected that.
Nick the intern says magic is just tech we don't understand yet. And I went, all right, if that's how it works for you millennials, cool. Kazinga, you're a toad.
Toadiamus, whatever. We'll find out about that in Orlando, just waving our wands and whatnot.
That's right.
And I mean that literally, not like a metaphorical
days.
sexual thing. It's like waving wands.
Yeah. Well, Dale, I don't know. He might.
If we get dumb Rick Perry out there. Hey, there's my magic wand. We'll get Chris to do that.
And we managed to schedule a convention in Orlando because it's in Orlando. And we've already set the date for the entire BS cast, plus Purple Avenger and Father of Purple Avenger.
Indeed.
To troop through Hogwarts Universal Studio.
Right.
I may not come out, but seriously, if I out of Hogwarts.
Oh, where you may not come out. Okay, I was going to say what. Okay.
No, if I lived nearer, I would just dress up, take my wand, and go sit in the 3 broomsticks and just be helpful.
There you go. Yeah, I think that's.
What are you doing today? Well, I'm going to have some butterbeer. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm not going. That's very sweet.
I like it okay, but yeah, it is pretty sweet. But yeah, it's quite amazing. So we'll be there because there's the podcast movement conference.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. That's okay. The thing that gets written off.
The thing that gets all of them to go is the podcast movement conference. The fact that it's in Orlando got me to go.
Yeah. Right. And I'm still trying to convince these guys that we should do a live episode taping somehow. How that's going to happen, God only knows. But that would be fun. It would involve work and rehearsals. It would involve rehearsals. The R word.
Who does that?
I don't know.
It's so limiting.
My favorite part of taping the shows, since we all see each other on the Zoom conference, is the fact that nobody reads the script in advance. So it's
nobody.
Great fun to watch the reactions. The all-time best, of course, was the bunny incident, but we won't, That was the best.
None of us had read that. So horrified.
It's the best. I could have died a happy man at that point. Oh, it was so great.
You came close to dying over that. We were not happy with you.
No.
Although Jake told me yesterday that we needed to get some bows and some spears in case we're ever in the woods and are attacked by a rabbit.
Have you been watching The Holy Grail?
No, it was Early Man by the folks who did Shaun the Sheep, Wallace and Gromit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. I
Yeah,
love
nice.
those guys. Nick Park and,
I think it's by them. I mean, it's the same. It's definitely by them.
Yeah, they have a style, definitely. Definitely. Cracking toast, Gromit. Great stuff. Great stuff.
Yeah, he was like, "We need spears, Mommy." I said, "Yeah, because bunnies are bad. I mean, they can be scary." He goes, "Yes, but they're so cute."
Jeez.
Not when they're gnawing your face off.
Yeah, as my stepdaughter found out, yes, chewing all the baseboards on the apartment for which you have to pay damages, yeah, things like that, yeah, when you let them out. Yeah. And wiring, they love wiring.
My practice husband coincided with my brief foray into becoming a reptile breeder.
Okay, I don't think I've heard about this little chapter of your life. Yes.
Well, I like snakes, and I just kept acquiring snakes, and you have to feed snakes, and you have to feed them other animals.
Yes.
Animals, yes. And that was before I knew much about what I was doing, so I was giving them live food, which is really a bad idea. You don't want to do that unless they won't eat anything else.
Okay.
There's a related story on how hard it is to kill a guinea pig. Just saying.
Okay.
But you would think it'd be easier, but they don't have necks. I mean...
Yeah? Makes them hard to ring, yeah.
But anything that came home as a food item that was in any way, shape, or form remotely cuddly looking, if it didn't get eaten right away, my fucking practice husband would buy it a $100 cage and give it a name. And so we had a bunny who resolutely would back his little bunny butt up to the corner of his cage.
Yes.
And shit and piss out it. Yes.
Passive-aggressive bunny.
I hated that bunny.
Oh, dear. Now, I had an experience in college where in the frat house that I was in, I inherited a piranha. And it was a rather large fella, and I had to have a separate tank of feeder goldfish, which you buy like a dozen for $2 or whatever.
Yes, I have a story about those too,
right,
but carry on.
Right. So it was an interesting experience, educational in many ways, so you would put him, drop a goldfish or two into the tank, and he would chase after them really fast and chomp, gone. And other brothers in the house who had fish, when they got tired of them, they would say, "Hey, I have a little present." So one of them had a Siamese fighting fish, a beta.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. So it was like, well, what would happen if we put him in there with your piranha, right?
Gulp.
So they dumped him in. He swam around a little bit, saw the piranha, and then went into his, like becoming larger and ready to fight and so
Sweep
on
the
like
leg.
that,
Sweep the leg.
And
yes.
And piranha sort of looked at him, kind of half bored, and then bit his head off. So it was like, reminded me very much of that Indiana Jones thing of the guy with the big swords and all that. It's like, okay, fuck it, I'm just gonna shoot the guy. It's like, very anticlimactic, very funny.
Our first little janky redneck pool that we put in the backyard. My husband did not. It got green, very green, and it continued to get green and even greener, and foul smells and all of that. And I said, we have to do something about this. It's a pond, and by we I meant him,
right.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And he said, ha ha ha, we will. Yeah, sure, no problem. Ha 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 ha. So the nanny and I went to the pet store. Yeah, we bought like 36 feeder goldfish.
I heard everything you said, and I totally agree. I'm definitely going to do this.
Yeah, we threw the feeder goldfish in there and discovered months later that they are actually fucking carp. Because they thrived in the green pool. We couldn't see them because still green. But yeah, they were, good 9-10 inches by the time we had to put them on Craigslist. Free carp.
Not the kind of thing you want to stick your foot into without a big stick handy or something.
No, they'd wrestle you to the ground and, I don't know, goldfish you to death or something. But yeah.
Wow.
So moral of the story is that feeder goldfish are only small for a while.
Yes. So get them to your piranha quickly so that they never grow big.
Yes, and surprisingly hardy. Can't keep them alive in a tank in the house. That's the tragic demise of Buttercup and Wesley. showed it.
Yes.
Time, my husband was a marine biologist charged with keeping fishes alive. And he killed Buttercup and Wesley.
How the mighty have fallen.
I cried.
Yeah.
I cried over him. Don't name your fucking fish.
Okay.
We have a tank now with 5 mystery fish in it that just simply will not die, no matter how much my husband tries to neglect them to death. Seriously, we've had them for 5 years. I didn't even know semi-tropical fish could live that long.
That is impressive. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, thriving on neglect.
Like our country is. I'll bring it to so not really thriving.
Not thriving, but yes.
But definitely some neglect and some malicious intent from our dear leader. God, I can't wait to get this guy out of there. Oh, my God. We better not fuck this thing up.
I know. I went to Guitar Center yesterday.
Yes?
Because I was in America.
Mm-hmm.
I have booth envy.
I'm sorry?
They have booth envy.
Oh, booth envy,
They
yes.
have whisper rooms now set up for their lessons.
Okay.
And they are easily 6x6.
Ah.
I mean, you could have a party in there. They're not as quiet as mine.
Uh-huh.
But still, booth envy. Especially because Jake also spent 20 minutes playing drums.
It was a good time to be in a booth, I think.
I want drums. No.
Yeah, Guitar Center had this. Usually has the sign up that says, "Your wife called. She said, buy anything you want," which guys find very funny.
I know. My practice husband was a guitarist.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Well, 8. That's how many I purchased.
8 guitars?
Yeah. You know how his band was great, though.
Yeah.
No. There was no band.
Oh, okay.
Played in the living room.
Okay. I look around this room and yes.
How many guitars?
All right. So I have, let's see, 2 electrics, a bass, 2 acoustics, a Spanish, a ukulele, a couple keyboards, that kind of thing.
Yes, we have 2.
How often do I pick them up?
Acoustic
Not
electrics. No, I know. 2 acoustic electrics, piano, and a saxophone. But I'm thinking I want a ukulele.
Oh, they're fun. Yeah, I'll bring mine to Orlando. You can practice. I bought one in Hawaii, straight from the factory.
Nice.
That's a nice one. So yeah, I could tell you all the details all about it, but I'm sure our podcast.
Apparently, you can learn the ukulele in a day. It's only 4 strings.
It doesn't.
And
yeah,
it's not hard.
It's not hard. But that was actually my first
instrument.
My dad, back in the 70s, got it into his head that he liked the old, 5'2", eyes of blue, kind of 20s, big raccoon skin jacket or whatever, ukulele thing. Bought several books by Mel Bay about how, ukulele chords and whatnot, and then never picked it up ever. And I did, and so I learned that. And then when I got guitar, I was like, oh, it's the same relative tuning. So all the ukulele chords work on guitar. You just have to deal with the bottom 2 strings. So it's good practice get Jake on there. I mean, I'm sure you'd love to have Jake get it all hours playing ukulele. Oh
yes, sure. Fine. Yeah, it's quieter.
or violin, right?
The thing I don't necessarily want more of. I definitely do not want a drum kit in this house unless there is a separate room built to house said thing.
Right.
But the saxophone, that's a panty dropper for me. I love saxophone. My mother alleged that were it not for Boots Randolph and his sax, I would not be here.
Okay.
But that is not an in-the-house game. That shit is loud.
Yeah.
There is no way to make that quiet.
No.
You cannot blow gently on your saxophone.
No, my son played alto saxophone for a while and he got tired of it. But yes, he was actually okay.
Too Many Zoos. Look for Too Many Zoos on YouTube.
Okay.
It's a band featuring a stand-up bass, I believe, a baritone sax and a guy who bangs on things, a percussionist of some sort.
Too Many Zoos. Okay.
They are amazing. Shout out to Too Many Zoos.
All right.
You really...
If you want to be guests on our podcast, we'll have
yeah, if anybody knows anybody in Too Many Zoos,
tiny desk concert
please let
here.
them know.
Yeah.
Yes, because my husband wants to talk to you.
Okay, excellent. Cool. All righty, well, I think we're in a good place here. We'll...
Kind of, yeah. This is good. We'll stop.
Oh, and we've got another episode coming up in 10 days, and I have a feeling, this may not happen, but I have a vision of Maxine Waters.
Auntie Maxine.
And we well, it's we're talking about it. You got to get on that on our Slack thread about that. You see.
Did I miss that? Okay.
Yeah. Get on there.
All my Slacks aren't in. I can't. They're not all coordinated.
You have alternative Slacks. I'm sorry. Just like Kellyanne. But the yes. So yes, Maxine. And various other.
If we can't get Mara to do it, then I'd call dibs, and that's just all there is to it. because I love Auntie Maxine.
Are you reclaiming your time?
I am reclaiming my time.
All right. Good. Okay. Good. All right, resistors, pay your taxes or else, and enjoy this episode. It'll help.
Incorporate. Let your company pay your taxes.
That's right. Absolutely.
Embrace capitalism where you can.
Yes. And
then go do good.
Yes. Do good. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now
make things better.
And now baseball. Okay. We'll see you all.
Off you go.
Bye.
Bye.